A few months back, I was introduced to the Otago Mount Cook National Park. It was incredible and I decided to return. I took these images then, but on return with the GFX50R, the conditions were very bleak to say the least. Good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Bernie and we're out here in search of some amazing Mount Cook landscapes. Mount Cook's the biggest peak in New Zealand, the biggest mountain, and I've had to wake up at about 2:30 this morning. It's about a two and a half hour drive from my place, and it should be kind of just there behind us, but there's a lot of cloud cover, a lot of fog and mist. And unfortunately it's total whiteout, so we're gonna have to get creative this morning because it's such a long drive. I don't want to waste the opportunity to get some nice landscapes anyway, and we're just gonna have to try and work out what we're gonna photograph and make the most of some of these other mountains that are uncovered and some of the mist that they're providing. So let's give it a go and get stuck into it. I think I might use the Acros film simulation, go for some nice tonal black and whites at f11, about a second, and we're just going to make sure we put that self timer on again for about 2 seconds. So as you can see there, I've just kind of tried to play with the kind of rule of threes, so you've got kind of one part of that image there, the second kind of overlapping in the middle, and then kind of a really contrasty foreground in the background there as well. So again, with the self timer on, it should give it a nice soft kind of look at a second. So nothing too noteworthy, but a really nice tonal black and white to get started. The mist is just clearing and it just seems like the most straightforward and easiest composition I could see. So I'm going to take the shot so I've got something with a mountain in it, just in case that cloud cover starts to encroach again and we lose it. So as you can see there, I've just gone for the skinnier 65:24 ratio just to give it a nice panorama, and because it's a 50 megapixel camera, you can afford to do that with plenty of, I don't know if that's an avalanche or something, but you can hear something in the background there. But yeah, 65:24 ratio, which is quite nice. So I've taken that shot. Might just get the 100 to 200 out and see if we can get in that nice and tight on that mountaintop there as well. But even that as a composition is quite nice, with the kind of hill in the foreground and then those lines. You've got a nice kind of pattern kind of running through the scene. So I'm not unhappy with that. Yeah, so for me at the moment, the 50R just screams value. You've got so many people that are dropping these for the 50S and the 50 and the 100S Mark II, which are incredible cameras. Yeah, so if you've got the means to pick one of those up, and you've got a reason to pick them up, if you're doing portraits or you need something a little bit faster, then by all means it makes sense. But if you've got, well, the light's getting really good, but if you don't need that pace, if you don't need that extremely fast autofocus, because this is a little bit slower, it's kind of first generation, then you know this would be a really good option. And then what you can do then is just invest in glass and put the money into the lenses that really matter, so you can take a multitude of landscapes like we were today. And for me, my camera's on my tripod, you know, 90% of the time, so I don't need stabilization. And for the times that I'm hand holding, you just need to be mindful, you know, that you're at a high enough shutter speed, you know, to make things work. Because it's not like you're getting old technology in these cameras, you know, you are getting the current 50S Mark II sensor. And I have a bit to say about that sensor, because it is a customized sensor by Fujifilm. It does actually perform slightly differently than your usual GFX or other Bayer type sensors, or X-Trans for that matter. So yeah, it's definitely worth a look in my opinion. Jeez, I think I've absolutely lucked out on the lighting here. Just you know, come around, step around the camera and check this out, and see there's a little peak just there in the middle, a nice silhouette of the kind of rough croppy foreground there, and my goodness, is it looking good. Oh, look at that. And it's just got this little band of light just hitting the top section there. The thing, you know, like, you know, this morning it was just grayed over, we couldn't see a thing, and I was almost just thinking, you know, it's raining, I don't have my wet weather gear, let's just, you know, get out of here, it's just not worth it. But staying around an hour has just changed everything. The clouds are starting to lift off the peaks, that light's just coming in, but because you've still got that cloud and that mist, it's just kind of allowing the light just to touch certain parts of the mountain. So the landscape's changing every kind of 5 to 10 minutes. We don't have probably that much time left before the clouds really do lift and, you know, the valley is flooded with light. But it's just so exciting to know that if you do go out, give it time, things do change. And if it doesn't matter anyway. I don't think I've met too many landscape photographers that have had a bad day out in the field, unless they've dropped their camera or they've, you know, hurt themselves. But if you're just out here, if you don't get any images, you know, I've only had a 2.5–3 hours sleep and it's probably starting to show, but I'd still rather be out here and not get any photos than to be laying in bed. If you're sitting at home watching this on a Sunday morning, pause it, go out, take some photos, come back and watch it later. And I guess if you've got any questions, I take medium format for granted, and I've been using it since you know, the film days, and large format, things like that. But if you don't know much about digital medium format, and it's something that's kind of confused you, or you know, you've got any questions about, you know, why you would go medium format, or what it is, or, you know, how it's different to APS-C or full frame, then, you know, pop a question down in the comment section below and I'd be more than happy to help. And I'm sure the community we're trying to build around this channel will jump in and answer your questions as well, because it is something that is truly special, and those real meaty kind of files are just, you know, something to really see and kind of experience for yourself as well. So you know, and those GFX lenses can resolve such a huge amount of detail. So especially if you're doing landscapes or, again, portraits where you need that kind of detail in the subject, you know, it's just, you know, my camera system of choice. I was extremely lucky when I made my way down the mountain. I stumbled upon the duck with their chicks, and I was able to photograph them without disturbing them too much. I had to be quick. And it was only for a brief moment, but I got some nice shots from it that I'm quite happy with, just to round off a great morning out at Mount Cook. Alrighty, now I truly hope you've enjoyed our adventure this morning. Rocky start given the visibility issues, but we've really come up with the goods now, you know, with the cloud lifting, and we were able to see the mountains. Unfortunately, we weren't quite able to see the full effect of Mount Cook, the highest mountain in New Zealand, but we did get some nice shots, I think, of Mount Sefton. I'll double check the names of these places, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was, which was fantastic. And we got to try out, so well, I've been using it for about 4 years now, but we got to talk about the GFX50R and why this might be a camera that you should look at, especially if you're looking at something high resolution where you really want to resolve all of those details for your landscape or portrait photography or even weddings and things like that. And if you do have any questions about medium format or the GFX50R, then please pop them down in the comment section below, and I'm more than happy to answer those. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching this morning, and the best way to support the channel is to like and subscribe. Otherwise, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week. See you later.